moment of truth. We'll see who's going to look better with their shirt off. Evan Centopani or Tanner Shook.
Does this mean bodybuilder versus CrossFitter?
That's exactly what it means. Right? This is Tanner Shook, and today I'm going to be training with IFBB Pro Evan Centopani, my favorite bodybuilder of all time. And dude, we're here in his basement, which is just freaking amazing. If you have the context. Yeah, what are we doing today, Evan?
We're gonna do a bro workout.
Bro workout.
I know you don't. I know you don't usually do this.
I haven't done a bro workout, and I don't know. I do CrossFit. Evan does bodybuilding, but I'm honestly a big bodybuilding fan, so I'm deferring to Evan. And yeah,
hanging out with you these last couple of days made me realize what a bro I am.
Dude, for sure. Yeah, so this will be a bodybuilding workout for me. I'm gonna do my absolute best just to kind of keep up with Evan, and yeah, we're gonna get after it.
Just some chest.
Chest.
That's it.
Give a couple flicks right there. Yeah. Not like kind of Olympic bars. They have a bit better spin.
Yep.
But honestly, every time I'm deadlifting or squatting, I prefer just like Texas bar. Like
oh, okay.
Texas
That's
bar.
what this is.
Yeah, no. How long have you had this basement gym?
2019, I think. It's weird. It's like I ended up completing it like just before COVID.
Just before COVID.
And then I had it, and everyone's like, "Oh my God, how did you know COVID was going to happen?"
Dude, I think this might be the most robust rack I've ever seen. Yeah. You can't buy one of these, can you?
No. This just worked out good. I mean, I never made a rack before.
That's what I'm saying.
For a first attempt, it came out.
This is literally self-fabricated rack right here that Evan made himself. Honestly.
What?
Dude, yeah.
Are you serious?
No, dead serious.
Oh my God.
Legit. I was like, I knew he had it made, but I didn't realize he actually made it himself.
That's nuts.
Cut it, everything.
That's impressive.
Yeah, man. Doesn't get any better than that. That's, dude, awesome power rack. You're paying like 15 or 20?
20. Get the blood flowing.
Yeah, all right.
Warm up the joints.
Wow.
CrossFit, you don't bench, right?
Dude, that's what's
That's just
shitty.
the
That's what's shitty about CrossFit is you never know what you're gonna do. So you might get tested on a strict press, a push press, or you could even do. They've tested bench press.
Oh, so they have. So it does exist in CrossFit.
Yeah. So
I had no idea.
That's why CrossFitters, they can do everything, but they're not good at anything. Does that make sense? Bro, that's like a true story. So yeah, you can do a little bit of everything, but they're not gonna be exceptionally good. I really, like I said, but I like to bench. I bench every week. And
I like bench. I don't know. I mean, people shit talk it, but I
no, that's what I'm saying. That's actually one thing that I noticed about you is keep it super basic, and you always let off with a barbell bench press, or you like to. Mm-hmm. That feels pretty good. Thankfully, I haven't trained in a few days. All right, I gotta save myself a little bit. I'm definitely not going to be keeping up with you, but I'll do my absolute best. How long did it take you to piece together this gym?
I guess like 6 months.
6 months altogether?
Yeah, you know, you find a piece here, you find a piece there. You drive up to Massachusetts, drive down to New Jersey.
How did you decide on which equipment you wanted?
I'm partial to Ivanko plates because they have that fatter lip.
Yeah.
Which I like. And I like York plates. For 15 years trained with York plates at Powerhouse New Haven.
Yeah.
But there's not as much meat there to grab it by. So the Ivanko plates, they're easier to grab, and then they sit better against each other.
Got it.
So those, I ended up with like a big score of them. I got from a guy up in like northern Connecticut. But then every time I see them, even now, I don't need them, but dude, I don't know, I still just buy them.
I almost feel like these, in a weird way, could be like a collector item. You know?
Honestly, dude, like weight is weight. It never goes bad. And if you pay the right price, you can always sell it for more than you bought it for anyway.
Yeah,
so
no, for sure.
I don't ever shy away from picking up.
And do things like, yeah, these things are never going to lose value on them.
No.
It's like my 80% Evan just banged it out for like 15. Evan, when you're gripping the bar, why right here? Why this wide grip?
So,
or this narrow grip? What do you think?
Yeah, for me, if my pinky is just on that line, That's kind of a more narrow grip.
Yeah.
But sometimes I feel more secure in tight. I used to bench even narrower.
Yeah.
But my triceps and my shoulders got really developed.
Yeah.
And not as much on my chest. Then when I started expanding my grip more, my chest started to get stronger. But I go back and forth. So like if say like elbows are bothering me, I'll go out wider.
Yeah.
But even when I squat, some guys, they'll hold it out wide like that, which I always felt super
I've never liked
unstable. Like I always liked it in tight.
Me too.
So I don't know.
Yeah, no.
Something about being in tight, I feel better.
Yeah, I like gripping the bar just where I feel the strongest. I'd like to put my pinky finger kind of right on that first ring right there.
Yep, that's what I do.
That's spot with mine.
Wider for me is probably that finger there on the line, or that one there, middle finger on the line.
Nice. All right, I'm gonna hit like probably 6 or 8.
Then we'll just go from there.
Once I'm done warming up, being in my basement, it's not like there's a ton of movements I'll do. So I'll do a flat bench, I'll do a machine fly, I'll do some dips. Those are kind of like my main movements.
Staples.
I'll tend to do, I don't know, maybe 4 or 5, sometimes 6 sets of flat bench, working sets, because I'm not doing a really big variety of other movements. I don't have a problem with, like, I could come down and just make a workout out of flat bench.
For sure.
Or come downstairs and make a workout out of barbell squats, or just do one good movement and just do enough sets of it and call it a workout. People are like, oh, but you need the angles, and nah, not really, man.
No, I agree. I've always taken a really simplistic approach to my training. Like, if I'm hitting upper body, it's like generally 2 or 3 movements. That might be bench, might be a bent over row, and then maybe an isolation exercise for like triceps or biceps. Like just, dude, simple and effective. Where are you going next?
I'm just gonna add a plate.
This is my goal for the end of this year is actually a 315 bench.
Okay.
My best ever bench, I was playing college football, 355.
355.
For one. Never was a great bencher, but yeah. What were your working weights back when you were competitive bodybuilding?
So 405 for like 8 to 12 was kind of like a not a baseline, but pretty standard. Like I gauged that, so like that's where I should be. Right. But like really strong was like doing 4 plates and a quarter for 8.
455. Jesus, dude.
That was my strongest.
This guy's repping 315 more than I can rep 2 1/4. But you know what? Is what it is. If you want to get better, nothing wrong with working out with people that are better than you. All right.
It's true.
So that was your first working set?
Yep.
What did you hit that for, 12 or 15?
14, I think.
14. All right.
Which,
how many sets are we doing?
when I'm strong, I'll do that for 25.
Oh. Bro. That's like mind-boggling. I'm going to go, this is the first working set kind of for each for me. I'm going to go for like 6 to 8.
Okay.
All right. I know these are baby weights for you, but for a CrossFitter, this is
No.
actually pretty decent. That's it. Good.
All right.
You ever hit supersets? Or you mainly just hit?
I do a lot of giant sets.
Oh,
so I'll come down here at 5:30 in the morning. It's like, all right, I got to be done by 6 a.m. So I'll bench, fly, dip.
Yeah.
Take a minute, bench,
Just
fly,
go through that.
just keep banging it out.
Yeah. Dude, those the kind of workouts, short and intense, are like killer. Super.
Oh yeah.
Super time efficient for sure.
Definitely.
When you were training back in competitive bodybuilding, what would be your typical training split, like weekly?
I liked training legs on Monday.
Yeah.
And I
start of
never.
the week.
I always did quads by themselves. It's so funny. It's like the total opposite of how you would train.
Oh, for sure.
Quads by themselves, because after I'm done training quads, I'm not going to give a good effort to hamstrings.
Yeah.
So like for me, a good hamstring workout is like heavy, high weight deadlifts.
Yeah.
lots of reps. I'm not doing that after
No, not after
going
like,
all out on
super-
squats
yeah.
and all that shit. So
You can't. If you're like really putting maximal energy and effort into it, yeah, you would exert yourself so much. I understand that.
So quads on Monday. Tuesday would be something light like arms, bis and tris.
Yeah.
Wednesday off. Then it would be back. Friday would be chest and abs. And then Saturday, usually I would do like a double session. I would do some shoulders and then hamstrings.
Okay, so then you'd fit in like the shoulders, kind of like the body parts you kind of missed during the week.
Right.
Probably the lighter ones towards the end of the week when you're probably most fatigued and just
Yeah.
fill those in.
Yep.
That makes sense. That would be what you stick to mainly when you're competing.
Pretty much.
Yeah.
5 days.
5 days.
Everything pretty broken up.
Yeah, makes sense.
Chest, back, and everything kind of revolves around chest, back, and legs. So put legs, having Sunday off prior
Yeah.
to training them, and then training quads, but then only doing something not very hard the next day.
Yeah.
Then Wednesday off, so I'm fresh for back. Still, do chest no problem the next day,
Yeah.
and then
I've noticed myself, like, whenever I'm doing like super heavy lifts, squats or deadlifts in particular, I almost have to take the next day off
You'll be
completely.
fried.
Yeah, just because like systemically, there's so much fatigue. Even though you may not be training your chest or upper body, but like I'll be so zapped from doing squats or deadlifts.
Yeah.
I do perform better by having like a gap day in between training days.
absolutely.
But yeah, it makes sense. You would kind of have a lighter day the next day after following it
I
up.
was trying to really get as big as possible. I only train every other day. That way, anytime I
Yeah.
train, I had a day off prior and a day off after.
Yeah, dude, I've discovered the longer I've done this, the more I train, the more rest I need, and the more importance I've placed on rest and recovery.
Well, people definitely undervalue or underestimate the power of recovery.
For sure.
But that's the way that steroids work,
Man,
is by enhancing your recovery.
Yeah, for sure.
So recovery's
Well,
important.
actually, I'm glad you brought that up. What would you say probably the biggest advantage performance-enhancing drugs are going to provide a bodybuilder?
It's recovery.
Just recovery.
It's recovery. Your ability to train and recover, more specifically, recover from training, becomes the limiting factor when
Yeah.
it comes to growing, because once you reach a certain amount of strength and you're training so hard, you can only train for so long, through so
Sure.
much volume,
Yeah.
and still be able to recover from it. So really, the harder you can train and the longer you can train and the faster you can recover to then do it again,
Yeah.
that's
That's
it.
That's going to be optimal.
How hard and how frequently can you do
Can
it?
you do it? For sure. And that's what, man, for me, I've discovered I love training hard, but the frequency, I just got to take it when I can. But
People don't
yeah.
understand, the bigger you get, if you're someone who's walking around at I guess let's call it a super physiological weight,
For sure.
something that's so many pounds above where your body would ever be naturally. So let's just say, untrained, you're a 190 pound individual.
Yeah.
And now you train yourself and eat and you grow to the point where you're doing everything you can. You've done everything you can to reach 240 pounds. Newsflash, dude, your body doesn't want to be 240 pounds.
Oh.
So now you go into the gym and you break yourself down. You're just giving your body it's hard enough before you broke yourself down to hold 240.
For sure.
Now you're breaking yourself down. Recovery is really difficult.
Dude,
I think that's my.
Man, no, I couldn't.
Maybe somebody has a more scientific way of explaining
I
it.
don't really know if there is like a.
Maybe there's things I'm missing, but that's kind of my
Yeah.
rudimentary understanding of it.
No, I agree for sure, man. Easy. Oh. 11. 12. Nice. You ever competed in any powerlifting?
No,
Never.
never.
Never. I did one powerlifting when I was a kid. When I was first getting into training, my dad literally just taught me squat, bench, and deadlift. I did one.
Probably a good thing to do to lay a good foundation.
Oh, man.
And this is where things have changed a lot, because back in like the 60s, it wasn't uncommon for bodybuilders to enter a powerlifting competition.
Yeah.
And there was, kind of that overlap.
For sure.
And I think really all disciplines, whether we're talking strongman, powerlifting, even CrossFit,
Dude.
there's something valuable where each sport could borrow from the other.
Absolutely.
Probably.
So Evan, what keeps you going, man? What keeps you training these days, even though you're not competing on stage anymore?
After doing something for so long, it definitely becomes part of who you are.
For sure.
It's like, well, this is what I do.
Yeah. That's it.
But also, at 41 years old, I mean, I don't feel the same as I did at 25 or 30. And I don't know, man. You know, I see people around me who are my age or older, and I'm like, yo, I don't want to fall apart like that.
Yeah, for sure.
So it's part of it is the desire to hold on to as much as possible. I don't know, I've got 2 daughters, and aside from wanting to intimidate future
boyfriends,
prospective boyfriends, no,
that's real talk, man.
They notice, you know, they say, well, you look different from the other,
every other freaking average adult.
And I don't push my kids to, like, hey, come down and work out. I'm going to put you on a workout regimen. Yeah. But they become curious as to what I'm doing. And, you know, the other morning I was down here working out before work, and my older daughter was on the treadmill, and the little one, who all of a sudden is like obsessed with her muscles.
Dude, she's got some muscles.
She has some muscles.
Awesome. Got the genes.
She's down here doing stuff. And it made me feel really good because, like, I didn't tell them to do that.
Yeah.
But they were taking an interest in something, and it's something it's largely positive.
Oh, for sure.
So
like,
it's all good.
The best thing that my dad ever did for me was, like, show me, you know, introduce me to the weight room, introduce me to strength training. And that's, dude, my life has been in the gym. My life's been training. It's been instrumental in who I am. Like,
the reality is, man, physical exertion, developing a routine, a regimen, developing discipline, and all those things, those are all positive things that could help a kid in any area of life.
And honestly, you can say, like, it's carried over into other aspects of your life.
100%.
For sure, man.
Because I was really overweight as a kid.
Yeah, I don't remember you telling me.
And when I finally realized or discovered my ability to change myself physically, oh my God, dude, that was like a light bulb going off in my head, and it was like, wow, I'm pretty powerful, and it just changed me fundamentally. It gave me a lot of confidence in other areas of life. So physicality and our ability to exceed physically, and we prove these little milestones to ourselves, and it carries over into other parts of life, I think.
Man, I couldn't agree more. Like, I haven't competed myself in, like, it'll be 10 years. No, excuse me, 9 years before the last, like, one CrossFit competition. But I can say that I look as good, and I'm not as fit, but I'm not far off from where I was. Yeah. But that's just, like, it's because it's a baseline for me. It's just part of who I am. Like,
that's
right.
Right.
I can't wake up and look at myself in the mirror and take myself seriously if I'm not fit or in shape.
Yeah. And I know you don't mean it in a vain sense.
No, I don't think it's bad to be a little vain. I think it'd be a good thing. But no, I'm not doing it to be vain.
No, but to your point, is there something wrong with some vanity? I don't think so.
I don't think so either. Honestly, I'd much rather have some vanity, because I look at it as, like, dude, like we talked about, dude, just self-respect, man. Nice. Good. So, let's go. You got it. Oh. Hey. Come on. Let's go. Big drive. Nice. 10 or 11?
I think I got 10. Shit. You might have given me credit.
Fuck, man.
For an extra.
I look at Evan, I'm just, like, kind of blown away, because he's still in just impeccable shape. He's a 41-year-old man. You're 250 now, right?
About 250, yeah.
Right. Like, fucking massive. Honestly massive. And then at your peak, when you're competing, you were 270.
On stage at 270.
On stage, like, peeled. Bro, what's it, like, here's another legit, what's it take to become 270 and just absolutely peeled?
A lot of food, a lot of heavy weight. I don't know how to put it except that, like, you're always watching the scale. Yeah. Like every morning you weigh yourself, and not because the number is important, but just because you need to have an idea of which way you're trending.
Yeah.
And yeah.
Another thing I was curious, like, so once you'd finish a competition, would you take a break? Would you continue going? How long would it take for you to, like, start working out again? Would you break your diet? I mean, what's, like, this, like, a typical bodybuilding prep and finish? after that?
As my competitive career went on, the way that I would diet was different because I was going into shows eating a lot of food.
Yeah.
Whereas in the beginning, as I was going into shows, like kind of starving.
Yeah. A little bit depleted? Could you say
Yeah.
that? Yeah.
And as you go on, you don't go into shows depleted. You just go in, you're sick of what you're eating.
Yeah.
And it's weird because you're plenty well fed. You're eating 5-6 times a day. So it's not like you can't really be starved. But at the same time, your body is kind of dying for other nutrients.
Yeah.
So when I would come out of a show, as my career went on, I didn't want to look at food, dude.
Yeah.
Like, oh my God, I'm so sick of eating 6 meals a day.
Fuck.
Get the food the fuck away from me.
Yeah.
I would want to eat other things, like just stupid things. Like I'd crave like watermelon or
Yeah.
fruits, or just eating less frequently. Even, I dieted for a few months, a couple months back, just to clean myself up for summer. And I was away on vacation on a cruise. I found myself only eating like twice a day.
Yeah.
They were much bigger meals, and I was eating other things. But when I came back from the cruise, and then I spent a week in Cape Cod, I came home, I was the exact weight to the pound that I was before leaving.
Wow.
So it's kind of funny the way meal frequency and overall volume was replaced by a lesser amount of food, but probably more calories, and
Yeah.
it didn't really make much of a difference. 6. Keep going. Push. Again. Up.
Oh, man. All right, dude. I think that's like 4 or 5 sets of 8, 2 1/4. Good for me.
I'm good.
When you were training, or even now, you don't really write down your workouts. Have you always taken a pretty intuitive approach to your training?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Which I'm not saying it's the right thing to do,
Yeah.
but hell, maybe it's just laziness. I just could never be bothered to do it. But I have a general idea of like what movement I did last week for what weight and how many reps.
So you were
And I'm
recording
conscious
it.
of beating it, and,
Yeah.
or at least living up to it.
Yeah. So in that essence, you were gauging it. All right. And you knew what you needed to do to make like improvement.
And then, but you're gonna have workouts too where they're not the same. So okay, if we started with the bench today, and next week if I start with something else, and then I do bench later, I can't really compare apples to apples. So
no.
what can you do except just go for as many as you can?
Yeah. That's. And I don't feel like you can ever go wrong with that.
Oh, 3 more. Okay. 1. Oh. 2. 1 more.
Fuck yeah. I got this. It's so negative. All right. Got it. I got it. Yes, sir. Oh, appreciate it.
Damn. And bodybuilding is way better than CrossFit.
It's a fun time.
Yeah.
It's good.
Seriously. Sometimes when I do CrossFit, I think, why the fuck am I doing this? The only reason I did it because I was just, I guess, good at it a little bit.
I mean, the exertion factor with CrossFit is
Bro, it's not.
admirable.
I think.
It's a lot of fucking work.
Yeah, I think one thing about CrossFit, more mental than physical almost, and it's just how much discomfort can you tolerate?
Yeah.
In some ways.
Yeah.
Really.
But that's valuable, though.
Yeah.
That's valuable.
As you say that, it's kind of weird because I'm like kind of late in my CrossFit career, and I've honestly became a bit disenchanted with it.
Yeah.
Been doing it for years. I haven't really seen much progress. Like I would just be kind of maintaining. I think a big reason that just for like the constant variance and variability, which the longer I live and the more I train, the more I realize like it doesn't really make much sense. You kind of need to have like a bit more, structure and reasoning to your training for sure.
Do you ever feel beat up from it?
Bro, I told you I had 16 surgeries, 16 orthopedic surgeries. Some of those were related to playing American football my whole life.
Yeah.
And bad luck. You said you had good luck. I've had some bad luck, I think.
Yeah.
I don't think my training was off, but CrossFit just beat the fuck out of me.
Yeah.
It's. I've asked myself that question a lot of times.
Bodybuilders love to rank on CrossFitters, but
Dude,
you won't get that from me.
No, I appreciate your having I guess some respect for the sport, but
I don't think a lot of bodybuilders fucking realize what these dudes do. And it's like, yo, okay, man, I know you're strong and you're big, but these dudes are fucking athletes, and they're using formidable amounts of weight for a high amount of reps in an athletic event. That's no fucking joke, man.
No, it's that's one thing I liked about CrossFit is it was fucking hard, and I came from a football background, and there's a competitive aspect to it. You know, it's like, all right, who can complete this amount of work the fastest?
Right.
You know, it's a more, I guess, objective sport than per se bodybuilding.
I was just gonna say that.
Yeah, it's a bit more objective. It's like, all right, who can fucking do the work the fastest?
And it's either
reason,
you're doing it or you're not.
Yeah, you do it or not. But yeah, definitely a different approach. But at the end of the day, every dude wants to be jacked. All guys kind of want to be like bodybuilders. Come on. Nice, man. Dude, what would you say? All right, I'm gonna make a guess. What would be your strongest body part? You'd say.
From the beginning, my arms just grew.
I hope
without being hardly doing anything.
Yeah, I'm just like kind of in awe, bro.
I'll show one more so we can sit.
Squeeze.
Oh, so slow down. Oh.
Good. Nice.
Let him go. Oh, get out.
Probably say dips. Might be my favorite upper body pushing exercise, bro.
Dude, for me, 100%.
Yeah.
When I was growing up, the weight set that my dad bought me, the bench, you could take the posts out and move them in, and they had handles off the back. You could do dips off the back of the bench.
Dude.
And bro, that I went to town on those.
Yeah. Dude, honestly, I think probably the dip, you know, like they say like squats like the king of exercises. You can say that. I'd say like the dip might be the king of like upper body exercises. I've always done a lot of them. I know Mike Mincer, I've been consuming a lot of his stuff lately. That guy's dead, but he was huge on dips.
He was.
He loved dips.
Great movement, man, because again, you're not only hitting your chest, but triceps, shoulders.
For sure.
It's a great upper body movement.
I love it.
Yeah.
That's like a
Isn't it nuts?
nice, Evan. Why do bodybuilders, or why do a lot of bodybuilders, they'll do like pre-exhaustion sets. So like, from my understanding, limited understanding, like before guys are doing heavy squats or before they're doing bench, they'll actually do a set of leg extensions or a set of pec deck. Did you ever do that?
So I suppose there's different reasons for it. One of the main reasons, and I started doing it for chest, because when I would bench early on, I felt like the only thing that would happen was my shoulders would grow and my triceps would grow.
Okay.
And that I wasn't necessarily connecting all that well, despite having a really strong bench press, that I wasn't connecting that well and building a really good chest. So if I did flies first, pre-exhaust that muscle,
Get some blood flow in it too.
get some blood flow, kind of turn it on neurologically.
Yeah.
Now when I get under the bar to bench, I'm feeling it instantly. I can connect with it, so I have a better ability to recruit it.
Yeah, which that makes perfect sense. Like in my mind, I probably never train like that just because I would always be trying to probably lift the most weight possible.
Right.
And so it'd be like counterintuitive, like why am I going to pre-fatigue this muscle
Correct.
before like the main compound lift? It's like I'm not going to be able to lift as heavy as I want.
Yes, you're just interested in weight for reps,
Yeah.
not necessarily muscular development.
Yeah, whereas
with bodybuilding, I'm certainly interested in the greatest amount of weight for the greatest reps, but in the name of development.
muscle hypertrophy.
So I still need to be connecting with that muscle group
Yeah.
in doing all of that.
Yeah, for sure. This might be the only thing I might be able to keep up with you.
Good, keep going. 11, up, push. Nice.
Oh, fuck yeah. Oh, man. Just one of those exercises like I agree with. You got your favorites for sure. Dips has always been one of my favorites. I've hated, one thing I've always sucked at, no matter how much I train it, is overhead pressing.
Really?
Bro, you just look, I have the most tiny delts ever. Like, naturally or not, like I don't think it would even matter. I don't think they would even grow that much, even if I was taking anything. I just like, genetically, I don't think I would have been a great bodybuilder personally. Just not.
You never know. I mean, for a natural athlete, and for someone who's never trained as a bodybuilder, I mean, it's very possible.
Yeah.
You could have developed a really competitive physique in bodybuilding.
Fuck, I don't know. I feel like my waist, I have like a barrel midsection for my size. Not very V-tapered or anything like that. More just like kind of.
Well, that could be related too to the way you've been training.
No, I know, for sure.
So if you'd been training as a bodybuilder, I bet you would look far more bodybuilder-esque.
Yeah. Potentially if I would have like gotten more specific onto it.
Yeah.
You know. I always loved bodybuilding. I mean, who doesn't want to be as jacked as possible?
I just always thought it was a cool aesthetic, and I think we're all influenced culturally, societally, and growing up in the 80s, dude, and with the Thundercats and He-Man and, you know, G.I. Joe was jacked.
Yeah.
Everything was jacked.
For sure.
Arnold was huge.
Bro.
Stallone and Rocky. Everything was muscle. Everything was... Muscle was cool.
Bro,
The
muscle
WWF.
will never not be cool.
That's how I feel,
It will
but
never not be cool.
I think we definitely went through a phase societally. Maybe we're still there to some extent, where it's like that's not cool. I mean, you got guys wearing the same size pants as their girlfriends and their wives, and I guess a lot of it starts to overlap with how we view traditional, even gender roles. Not to dig too deep, but
you delve into all that, like with like masculinity, bro. I don't know, or how it's changing or lack of masculinity today.
I think, you know, whether a guy wants to be jacked or a girl wants to be jacked, I think it's all good. But I feel like a guy being jacked is like kind of looked down on, like, oh, he must be a fucking idiot, or
there is that stereotype.
It's not in style. In the 80s, it was in style. Currently, it's not really in style, I guess is the best way to put it.
It might make a comeback. Who really knows? I've never even...
Everything does eventually.
Yeah. I've always thought, like, fuck, dude. I always want to be as jacked as I possibly can be. You know, like, for a CrossFitter, like, I'm actually fairly more muscular than most. I mean, not muscular compared to you, but I would always incorporate bodybuilding elements into my training just for purely aesthetics. It's like, dude, when is jacked being a bad thing? Who does not want to be more jacked, in my opinion? I've never not wanted to be more jacked.
Strength, power, speed, whether we're talking about a physique, an automobile, whatever it is, it's always cool. Who's going to go, no, it's too fast. No, it's too powerful. I don't like that.
That's the thing.
At least for me, but maybe not everyone feels that way.
Here's another good part about being jacked. You can literally wear whatever you want, and no one can say shit because you'll look good in pretty much anything. I've always felt that way. I've never had like a high sense of style. Like, fuck, I can like wear whatever I want. Like, I got a pretty good physique. I can't look that bad. You know, there's another advantage of being jacked.
So the workout's done. Chest is hit. If we're gonna conclude this though with a proper pose down, the shirt has to come off.
Absolutely. Dude, moment of truth. We'll see who's gonna look better with their shirt off. Evan Centopani or Tanner Shook.
Does this mean bodybuilder versus CrossFitter?
That's exactly what it means. That's a good title, man. That's a good title. All right, I'll do it. Jesus Christ, dude.